I'm here to speak on what should happen with our college attendance policy. I'm sure I'm not the only person who thinks we should have a say on if we want to attend classes or not. And of course, there are some of the courses that require class attendance and participation to get through the courses, and smart students would know it's their responsibility to attend as much class as they need to pass. There's definitely more freedom when it comes to college. Every department has different policies, but here at Midlands, it's 4 absences, and on the 5th one you drop, and 3 tardies equal out to 1 absence. Now, there are some professors who take these policies very seriously, and others who understand some of their students will go over 5 absences throughout the semester. But to get to the point, the college attendance policy needs to be no more, or optional. I assume the desired effect of the policy is to help students get the most out of their education and graduate prepared for their profession. But it's not the college's job to ensure a student's success. That success relies on the students. Some of these students need failure to realize their full potential in school. Now, don't get me wrong, attending class is critical for students to learn. But we are paying for the classes, so why can't we pick and choose what days we want to attend? Usually during the semester, I use all 4 of those absences every time. And if the policy was changed to optional attendance, I'd probably still miss those 4 days. But the 4 days I do miss, they don't affect my grades because I reach out to the professors and catch up on what I missed. It's possible many students wouldn't attend class, but it'd be a good lesson on finding out which students are really committed. Either way, the college would still get their money and the professors would still get paid. In the data I researched, it was proven that attending class improved course performance and grades were better. And that can be proven just to look at how high schools make attendance mandatory. Students have no option but to attend, so they gain as much knowledge as they want. I don't want to compare high school and college because there's too many differences for them to be anything alike. High school is a requirement, whereas college, you get to choose your path and take classes that interest you. Most likely, if you're attending class in college, you're very interested in the subject which you are learning. In the article, it says that your grade reflects how much class you're missing, which I don't think is 100% true. There are students who don't miss lectures at all and still can't seem to understand the material. The number one reason I think students skip is because they can't understand the material their professors are teaching. So they just try and wing the course, or the lectures are just dull and they can't seem to string in their attention the whole time. So they just look at it like, why even bother going? Then there are professors who take percentages from students' overall grades from each absence. But to me, that makes no sense. Why take extra points off the grade if them missing class is going to reflect the grade anyway? There's just all these different policies for attendance and no real way to tell if these students are making the class the number one priority. Now, let's say a student has an illness and sometimes they're hospitalized or just not strong enough to make it to class. Then what? I know some professors will curve some things to help the student out, but what about the handful of professors that wouldn't? And even if they have a passing grade, they'll be dropped. It's ridiculous. The policy should be, if you're passing, attendance shouldn't matter. But then if you're borderline or failing, plus you're missing class at a certain point, like the midterm, then yeah, you should be dropped. At the end of the day, a student's education they are paying for should be ultimately decided by them, if they pass or not. There are still people who can keep up with the work and get good grades without attending class. If you miss a class, it should be on you to get the notes or assignments that has been missed. The only way I see this policy changing is if we all come together and let it be known it's our education and it needs to be in our hands. Even the professors need to be on board because they're the ones getting paid. Our education is putting food on their tables and it's paying their bills. It wouldn't be fair if we weren't attending class, because what professor would want to teach a class with 10 people in it? Seriously. But the whole thing about going to college is dependent on ourselves to be responsible and to get the degree we paid for. Some of our parents pay for college, some of us are on scholarship, and some of us are paying out of pocket. But when it's all said and done, we all have the same goal, and attendance should not be in the way to stop that. Many instructors think mandatory attendance policy is the way to go, arguing that it holds students accountable and prepares them for future employment. And most students believe that regularly attending class will improve their grades, but also believe that it is ultimately their decision whether or not to attend. I don't believe the students would skip a whole semester, but they would have some pressure off their shoulders just in case something came up and they couldn't attend for a couple days. Last semester, my best friend passed away. And I've lost family, but I don't think I've ever lost someone that close that I'm with every day. It broke me, but my professors only excused the day of his funeral if I brought the obituary in. So I didn't get to go home and do all the memorials and hang out with all my other friends and get some comfort or go comfort his mother because of my attendance policy. I felt like I picked school over him, and that's mainly why I picked this policy. I think we as students of Midland should sign a petition and get a member of the MTC class to sit down with our president and talk to him about how we should be responsible for our own futures and change our attendance policy to optional. It would put our success and future in our own hands and show who is serious about school, attending classes, and keeping our grades and our GPAs up. And maybe if we have perfect attendance or something like that, maybe we can get recognized or rewarded once we graduate and get that degree.